Additional tracks, you need to save it as an MP3, a decent quality MP3. I prefer 192 ID3 tags, which is basically just adding information to your individual file about things like the episode title, the episode number, uploading it to your host like Captivate, adding your title, your description, your image, and other details within Captivate, and then scheduling it on Captivate and your accompanying blog as well. I do like to have an accompanying blog as part of that there as well. Then we're on to launching and promoting. So that's just about taking us up to the final phase that we're going to cover as part of this recording. Launch and promote. If we're using this SEO in 2023 example again, if you're publishing your podcast, I highly recommend having it published on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Audible. Those are absolutely, let's just go back if we can do to Audible. There are absolutely 3 key platforms. Now you can automatically appear on other platforms. I don't particularly like having lots of subscribe options on your own website. I think when you confuse people with so many subscribe options, they'll take nothing. So having those 3 big ones which will be better. And if you're driving people towards certain platforms, it's more likely that you'll get more subscribers in those platforms. And if you have more subscribers, you'll be higher in the organic reach, the rankings, and do better as a result of that. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Audible is a great up and coming one as well. Right. And in terms of promoting, I mentioned earlier that promote in the first 24 hours if you can, because a lot of platforms like Apple Podcasts will look into how many downloads an individual episode has had in the first 24 hours. So if you can do things like send an email, so I've the third bullet here, leverage your own email list. If you can send an email to your own audience a couple of hours after you've published, and you can give them a very specific link on Apple Podcasts, for example, if they read your email as an iPhone, then you're going to skew positively the number of downloads that your show gets on Apple Podcasts. And because of that, the chances are you'll get an increased organic visibility on that platform if you do that. There are other ways, of course, to promote your show. I've mentioned already, use video clips, use square video clips. Very important to record video as part of the episode, I think. You don't have to publish on YouTube, but if you've got the video, why not? But produce those square video clips from those long tail questions, and maybe ideally have 5 of them from each episode. That's a wonderful source of content that you can perhaps publish as separate blog posts, but you can also include as social videos and pay to play videos on places like Facebook advertising, driving people towards your trailer video for your show. And get the guest involved too. So ideally, guests will be involved in the promotion of your episode as well. So if they've featured, let them know when the episode will be published. Give them material in terms of perhaps some artwork from the individual episode and the episode URL. And if you provide them with that kind of material, it's much more likely that they will share the show on your behalf. So that is what I intended to cover today in about 2 hours. I am at 1 hour, 58 minutes and 45 seconds. So that's pretty good going. I just want to share again that Casting Cred, my agency, we're a boutique B2B content production agency specializing in podcasts, video shows, and books. If you're thinking of starting your own podcast, your video show, or perhaps even a book, but probably just a podcast at this stage, let's have a conversation about it. Just go to the website castingcred.com. You can schedule a free 30-minute call. We can have a conversation about what you're intending to do. No commitments at all. It's great to understand what different brands want to achieve in terms of podcasting. But if you want, we can help out in terms of just running the recording sessions and then just taking all the content and editing everything and publishing it on your behalf. So you literally just have to spend an hour or even half an hour per episode instead of having so much time focusing on producing podcast episodes when it's not a skill set that you should really probably be doing everything yourself. But hopefully we can have a conversation in the future, either about you starting your own podcast or something else. If not, or even if so, please add more comments to this video. It would be good just to get your thoughts on where podcasts are headed in terms of the content marketing mix. Hopefully the 6H content marketing model was helpful for that.